Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's afternoon here, and I believe in some part of Africa it's still afternoon. So, good afternoon from wherever you are joining us from. I will give a minute for one person. Yes, hi. How are you? Thank you for joining, and I would just I want to hear from us. How you feeling today? Today is Friday, so yeah, thank God it's Friday. It's the end of the week, and how has the week been for you? If you can just type anything, in the comments. Let me know how you are, how you are doing, and it's another season for scholarship. I know a lot of people have been on one or two, applications. So how has it been? Just let me know how it is in the comment section. I'm happy to read and hear how you are doing. So welcome back to another powerful episode of Beyond Borders, Voices from Around the World. And if you ever dreamt of studying in the UK on a fully funded scholarship, today is for you. I know a lot of people have been asking me. They love the idea of studying in the UK because, of course, it's an English country, right? And even you now studying on a fully funded makes sense a lot. Don't you agree with me? So we are diving into Chevening Scholarship, one of the most prestigious awards out there, I tell you. And I have a special guest who has lived this journey. She embodies it, not only lived. But before I bring her on, let me hear from you in the chat. Drop a fire if chimney is on your radar, or fire emoji, anything, or maybe you've already started your application. I want to know who is with us today, right? So let me see. Yes, Jaden, great. Yeah, I'm very good. So I'm glad that you are doing very well. You're welcome. I know you will gain a lot from this. So if you are applying for Chevening, let me know in the comments, and encourage other people to join as well. Share with your community, with your friends. Share, like, so that it's also recommended to another person. And don't forget to subscribe as well. So right now, let me bring our amiable and awesome guest. She is loaded for us today, and I can't wait for her to share, from her. Yeah, I can see Jaden. I wish you the best, and of course, you will learn so much from her. So, drum rolls, let's welcome her, Lilian Sudi. You welcome.
Hello.
Hello. How are you today?
Thank you
How are you
so
feeling?
much. I'm good. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I am excited about this session.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. We are super excited to draw from you actually today. So thank you so much for being here. Lilian is, before I allow her to introduce herself, she's a Chevening Scholar. She's an engineer and advocate for women in STEM, right? She works a lot in climate change, sustainable energy. And it's such a great pleasure to have you here. Welcome once again.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. So before we go into the serious things, what's one fun fact about you that people really expect
Oh,
when they
Lord.
meet you?
One fun fact.
Mm.
Oh, my good Lord. I know I'm a fun person,
Mm.
but being put on the spot is always tough for me. I one fun fact. I want to go bungee jumping. I've wanted to do that for the longest time. So hopefully I'll get to do that next year, if not this year. But
Awesome.
it's been on my list for the longest time. I
Uh-huh.
love a bit of adrenaline here and there, just here and
Ah,
there once in a while. So yeah,
that,
when
that,
I do
that's
it,
so
I
good.
shall tell you how it is.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's so good. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much. And secondly, this one is not so much on the spot. It's just if your achieving journey was a movie title, what will it be and why?
A movie title,
Hmm.
I would say Friends.
friends.
Yeah, you will
Right.
be friends. I think my I've made so many friends. So the one thing that the Chevening journey has been for me, I mean, apart from the scholarship, apart from everything else, has just been the community. And I think that's one thing that makes Chevening stand out. The community is quite rich. There's so many people
Awesome.
that you meet here. And
Mm,
so I have made good connections, genuinely good connections. So
mm.
if there's anything that Chevening has an upper hand in comparison to other scholarships, it would be that the community itself, the
Wow.
people, the caliber of people that you meet.
Mm,
So yeah, and actually being friends with these people who
yeah.
you would have otherwise never met, and just talking to them, that has been the peak of my entire Chevening journey.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. And of course, I know people, it's also drawing desires in the heart of people to really pursue it. So if you are on it, it's a note to you that don't quit. Um,
Hmm.
really put your best into that application. All right,
Yeah.
so let's go into it. How did you first hear about Chimney, and what convinced you to apply?
I'm not quite sure when I heard about it, because by the time I got the scholarship, I had applied so many times. Um, so maybe I heard about it in 2016, ended up getting it last year, 2024.
And you applied every year since that 2016?
There are a few years when I was just really upset. I wasn't going to apply, but
Wow.
yeah, it was always on my radar. It's been on my radar for a very long time.
Hmm.
And what was the second part of the question? How?
What convinced you to apply?
Okay, so what convinced me to apply? Chevening allows you to apply to any school in the UK
Hmm.
and any course as well. Whereas the other scholarships are very specific. They're course specific, they're school specific. Chevening is really open. You can study in England, in Scotland, in Wales.
Oh.
And another thing was just how prestigious it was. There was nothing, even right now when you search anything about Chevening, you will not hear that they've ever faltered or
Mhm.
defaulted paying
Oh.
the scholars any year. It's just been very consistent.
Mm.
And also the testimonials from myself right now that I've gone through it, the testimonials that I had read before, everyone just has positive things to say about it. So
Mm.
it was just without a doubt a good opportunity for me to consider applying for.
Awesome, awesome. So, what stage actually felt hardest for you? I know you applied a
Mm,
lot of time now, but was it the essays, the reference, the interview, or some of the requirement as well?
I would say the interview, not necessarily because the interview is tough. It's just because it's heavy
Mm.
on you. You know that if you do well and you're selected, it means a lot. You know your life gets to change for a year and maybe beyond that.
Yeah.
But it's a huge experience. It's also a huge investment on their part.
Mm.
So you want to convince them that you're worth the investment. It's not free money, it's an investment.
Yes,
And
exactly.
so just the thought of how what a big interview it is, it weighs on you during the interview. So this was my experience. I was very anxious. Also preparing for the interview, I did a lot of research, especially this time around when I got it. I had a lot of numbers because I wanted to be able to tell my story front, back, side to side.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I would say that was the toughest.
I can relate to that. You know, I was telling you that I had an interview on Monday. Some few minutes to the interview, and this is from someone. I'm a coach. I coach people on, how to apply, how to tell your story, how to do this and that. And I sat here and I was like, okay, I'll face these people, committee that are from different places that don't have a lot of years of experience, right? And
Mhm.
I was there, super anxious. The time is ticking and it's getting close to it. But at the point, I was like, see, it is like a relationship.
Yeah,
They won't really want to know whether you are a good fit. And your job is to tell them and show them that you are truly that person they are looking
exactly.
for. And
Mm,
once I told myself that, I think I relaxed a bit. I
mm,
got there and I was there because, yeah, and I understand the part where you say it is actually, it can be heavy, right? Because for mine, I had to present 5 minutes.
mhm.
After presentation, 15 minutes with the panel. After that, an individual interview with one person. After that, in the evening, I have to write an essay. So I
Mm,
understand it can be a lot, and yeah, but as you said, preparation also help you,
does.
in that,
Yeah.
and that's so good. So I know that many applicants struggle with essays because
Mm-hmm.
I think that is even one of the things. As so, SOP or essays, motivation letter, personal statement is
Mm-hmm.
what gets you into the room because you are not there. So it's representing you to actually get you there. So the interview is you now coming to defend whatever it is
Yeah.
you write, right? So, but to even get into inside the door or into the room already, in the first instance, many people struggles with this part, right? So how did you approach writing them in a way that stood you out the last time you applied, which was last year, right?
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. So, I mean, I think bottom line, I would say every scholarship has its requirements.
yes.
It's not generally that they're funding people who have sob stories. I walked barefoot for 10 kilometers. It's not all scholarships are looking to fund that story. So you
Yes.
need to read the fine print and understand exactly what they're looking for. And I think you mentioned that when you're talking about the interview you had, that they are looking for something and you need to present yourself as what they're looking for. So that's what I did this time round. Chevening in particular is looking for leaders, so you need to have leadership experience. You need to be able to expound on your leadership experience extensively, and
Mm,
that means you need to quantify how many people you impacted when you were leading, volunteering as well. Which organizations did you volunteer? How did you make these connections? So that's those are insights that I had this time that I was not I don't know, I didn't know about them before. I would also add and just make an honorable mention right now of this lady who helped me a lot with my essays. Her name is Sarah Kwamboka. So most of the things that I'm talking about are things that she told me.
mm,
And then just tie everything back to the whoever is giving you the scholarship. In this case, why Chevening exactly? So make sure that you mention this in all the essays,
mm,
and also link this to the international community. So whether it's a vision that your country has, I'm from Kenya and my country has a vision 2030. So if you can link this to that, if you can link this to um, the SDG goals. So how your story links to the general global community, because there has to be a multiplication factor. It can't be something that is benefiting you
you.
and then it ends there. So your vision has to incorporate everyone
Yeah.
else. So I would say that's what I did that might have made my story stand out.
Mm.
Um, and then, after all is said and done, it has to be your story. It should just be your story because, I mean, a lot of people, I think, after I got the scholarship, were asking me for my essays, and then, but you can't really say, you can't communicate my story the way I would communicate it, and I can't communicate your story the way you would communicate it. So
Exactly.
find a way of relaying your story in in a beautiful way,
Mm-hmm.
using the star situation, task, action,
Result.
result approach, as opposed to jumping onto someone else's essay,
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
that is actually what is unique, the fact that it's your story and there are no two stories that are identical.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, this is so it's this is a master class already because I mean, thank you so much for drawing that. And as we are hearing for everyone that is listening, whatever is actually punching you by the face or actually standing out to you, you can always put it in the comment section so that people that are joining later can also glean from that. And one of the things I would just try to reiterate, and I agree absolutely well with, is to know in particular what this scholarship is looking for. As you already stated here, Chivney is all about leadership, right? So it's not only just that you lead, what is the impact? And that's when you were speaking to how many numbers were, what
Yeah.
was the outcome, what is the
Exactly.
numbers, right? So
Mhm.
all these things have to be. And the most important part, which I love so much, is the place where you are like, um, no one can tell your story better than you are. nobody even know your story as much as you do, right? So nobody can help in that, right? And that's why, for me, I can be like, the as a coach, what I can help you to do is to rather draw those stories out, and then, because you have so many story again, but
Mm-hmm.
which one do you know that you have to, because not every story have to be tell to them, because sometimes it won't even serve the mission they stand
Mm-hmm.
for. What is their objective? Then it's now for us to look at, out of all these stories, which one better suits this, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then even also some template that I bring about is just asking you questions to really bring those stories out of you, not me presenting what I used for gaining some interviews and then presenting it to you. No, it cannot work.
Mm-hmm.
Our stories differs, and then what we just need to learn is, how do we tell this story to stand
Yeah.
out every place. So thank you so much for doing for telling us this and taking us through this masterclass. It's super valuable. So if you have to give three do's and don't for Chevening process, what would they be for people that are aspiring to apply now?
Okay. Do's and don'ts of Chevening. Let me start with the don'ts, right?
Mm,
So the first don't, of course, would be make sure it's your story. Make sure you sat down, you've curated your own story that you can narrate front to back. Because in the event that they ask you questions, if it's something that genuinely happened, you'll be able to expound on it. So it just makes the whole preparation process easier, and it makes you calmer, so that you don't have to make up things on the spot when you're being questioned. And I think everyone's story is good enough for,
yes.
however much you've done should be good enough. So you just learn to appreciate yourself as well, and what you've done, and know that that is good enough.
Yeah.
Then the second thing I would say on the don'ts would be, most of these things I just answered in the previous question.
Yeah.
Make sure you understand what the scholarship is looking for. I got the Chevening, so I'll talk about that. They're looking for leadership, networking experience. They're looking for someone who has a proper plan for the future. So you need to be very specific. After Chevening, where are you going? Which organizations do you want to be linked to? Do you know anyone? Have you reached out to them? Which positions do you want to work in? And the impact. And Chevening is very big on community. So
Yeah.
your impact should touch the community in one way or another. There should be a multiplication factor. So don't have a sob story, because I was reading a lot of essays for people who are applying last year. I think I read a few this year as well. And there's just this common narrative, I've struggled. I walked barefoot for 10 kilometers, no shoes, no, my dad used to work on the roads, carrying stones to a
Mm,
quarry. And I do admit that there are some scholarships that are looking for those stories. Chevening is
mm.
not one of them, so keep those stories very far away
Wait.
from them. I don't think they will ever consider any of those stories, because I'm telling you from experience, I think those are the stories I used to write before. And yeah, I would
Oh
advise.
my God.
Then also don't what should I say? This would be a do and a don't. Make sure that you start working on it start working on the scholarship before the actual, the Chevening opens in August, and the deadline is usually in November, and you think this is a long
October.
time. It's
October 7th.
Is it October 7th? Okay,
This year,
during my
yes.
time, I think it was in November,
Mm,
and it seems like such a long time. It's not, because they expect you to do a lot of research, and
mm,
this research is not necessarily just on your story, but on them. These
mm,
people are giving you money. You need to show them you are interested in them. So you
mm,
need to go and understand where their funding is coming from. What
mm.
are the interests of the funders? So in this case, it would be the FCDO,
Yeah.
that's the Foreign Development, I think, Commonwealth
Well,
Office, if I
yes.
have the acronym correctly. So what interest do they have in your country? Because there are some programs they are funding in your country. Try and get those numbers, try and get those figures. So that would be a do and a don't. So don't just, when you walk into an interview, at least you need to know something about the employer that you want to employ you.
Yeah.
So in this case, do your homework. Make sure that in your scholarship, in your essays as you're writing them,
Mm,
you note these things down. Um, I'm going to use myself for example. I'm in the energy sector, water and energy, and last year I knew of two projects that FCDO had funded in my country, and one that the organization I was working for was directly affiliated with. I knew the amount of money
mm,
to a T, like all the money that was spent. I knew that, and I could link this to how I would be beneficial to their cause in my country as well.
mm.
Because again, I'll emphasize it's not free money, it's an investment. So you need to show them that you are worth their money, you're worth the
Exactly.
investment. So I think I've answered the do's and the don'ts, right? Because it's
You have.
ideally when there's a don't, then the do would be the opposite of that. Just do your homework, understand what the scholarship is about, and write your own essay.
Yeah, thank you so much, for this. And, the part where you said you walk barefooted 10 miles, you don't have to put that story. So they are
Yeah.
not looking for pity party. They're like,
Yes,
you're not a
exactly.
charity
Mm.
case.
Hmm.
You have to show that this thing, and another thing, that you are worthy of investment, as you have said. And another thing is that, in your story, it has to show that you are a person of impact. You are giving to value, and you are not looking for that scholarship to actually validate your value, but you
Yes.
are looking into scale impact that you have already been doing. So you're a person on a journey, and you've had some traction in terms of impact. So you are looking for this scholarship to really be that thing that will help you scale your impact. So that's people they are looking for, and you are able to tell the story in this line, you are good to
Yeah.
go. So
Mm.
thank you so much, for bringing those parts in, right? And the story part as well. You have to be able to tell your story. If you have that belief that you are worthy of investment, and also the interview part. One person that I invited, he was an Erasmus student. He was like, you have to take it as if you have exam on the website of that scholarship board.
Yes.
So you are studying them
Mm-hmm.
as if you have exam to write, because yes, if they call you for interview, that's like an exam really. So,
Mm.
and it will help you in actually preparing your application, so you
Mm.
know what they really want. You are using the words that they are using. So if they are big on sustainable, as you see, leadership, so you have to be showing where you led, right?
Mm.
You have to be showing what as networking skills you have, what you've done, all this impact and all. So if you are able to put yourself in their shoe as well, right? And then what are they looking for? And you present yourself, you position yourself as someone they are looking for. They will surely see you, and they will
Mm.
surely pick you, right?
Yes,
So yeah,
definitely.
thank you so much for that. And for everyone that you are watching right now, it's a privilege to have her here. She's super busy. So if you have any questions specifically for her right now, we can go over it. So ask in the comment section, and I will ask, and she will provide answer to it. So let's move to uh, so that moment where you actually got the interview, and not after the interview now, even the award,
Yeah.
after so many years, how did you feel?
I remember exactly where I was standing. Um, I think also because I had been very disappointed in the previous years, I wasn't expecting much. I was
Mm,
not, I decided to manage my expectations that day because there's a time that I got a rejection, of course, and I felt really, really bad
mm,
that time, and it affected me after that. So I had really managed my expectations up until that point. So during the whole day, I was in a WhatsApp group, and everyone was saying what they had gotten, and I did not check mine up until in the evening when, yeah, because I was at work and people were leaving. So that's the time that I checked mine, And I opened it and I just saw the title and I knew I had gotten it because it was different. It was different from what I was used to seeing.
Mm.
I remember I was standing. I just thank God. I'm a Christian, so I was very grateful. Um, yeah, I was very grateful, and I kept it to myself for I think about a week before telling anyone
Are you kidding
because
me?
yeah, because I needed it to sink in, and I think I had been very scared of disappointing people in the past, so I just kept it to myself. But that was what I felt, and I'm still very grateful. I remember I always go back in my mind, and I'm just oh God, I'm so grateful.
Oh my God. Well, I can imagine how that would be. So that's so good. But that you kept it for 1 week.
I kept it to myself.
Wow, that's so I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to do that anyways. But that's so thoughtful. And so how has the experience been up onward from that time? And then let me link it to the other parts. When you got to the UK as well, what was the biggest cultural shift or shock when you started the program?
Mhm. So I'll start with the experience. It's been fantastic. It's been fantastic. Honestly, you have a perception of how it's going to be, and it actually meets those expectations. You know, most of the times you imagine something and you tend to over pump it up in your head, and then when
Mhm.
it happens it's not as it doesn't match the expectation that you had in your head. For me it has matched, and I
Mm.
think surpassed that. My experience has been great.
Wow.
The Chevening team is great. I mean, the university that I'm studying in, I think most of it, if not most of the universities in the UK are really good. But the University of Bristol is great. The fraternity is really good. The community has been great. I've had a really good time learning.
Awesome.
One of the best times learning, honestly. And I mean, to add on to that, the second part of your question, biggest cultural shock. I won't mention a cultural shock because I think these are known, right? I mean, the systems work at home, everything is chaotic. Yeah, the systems work. um, and so on and so forth. I mean, you expect that if you're coming to a first world country.
Mhm.
For me, what threw me off completely, I was not expecting this, was the time shift during winter,
Yeah.
summer,
Yeah.
because during summer, I love the sun. I love the fact that now we had good sunshine, but it was 10 p.m. and the sun is out and it's glaring, you know, it's very bright outside. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I think my sleep pattern was really affected during this season. And then during winter, I
Mm.
think 4:30 it would be so
That.
dark. It looks
Yes.
like it's 7 p.m. And
Mm.
then yeah, it was just so confusing for me to conceptualize that. And then the other thing would be just no sunshine. I remember a friend of mine telling me when I was coming here, oh, when you come back, you'll come back when you're lighter. And I think in Kenya, or just generally in Africa, that's something that's glamorized a lot. But you don't know that people come back lighter because there's no sunshine. And no sunshine is not a good thing. Yeah, you need that sunshine. So, yeah, there are days you wake up and you feel very, you're very sad.
Exactly.
Yeah, and nothing has happened. You had good breakfast, you're full, but you're very sad. It's very gloomy, it's gray all the time.
Mm.
So the park is there, it's green, but it's very wet on it. So there are all
Mm.
these nice things, nice buildings, good infrastructure, but you're just very sad. And I struggled with this as well, and it brought me a lot of guilt because I felt like, why am I sad? And God has given me a good opportunity. And then the day the sun came out, I knew that is it. I haven't had sunshine. And then I think at some point you also start feeling a bit tired and a bit,
Mm.
the sunshine is important, and I think we take it for granted because it's always there in Africa.
Yeah.
But here, it's sunshine comes out, and you want to move your entire house to the park and just sit there. So I would say that was the biggest shock, and the fact that right now I am very grateful of sunshine. I'm very grateful of the fact that in Africa we have a lot of sunshine, because also with our melanin, our skin doesn't process as much sunshine
Mm-hmm.
as the lighter pigmented skin. So here you actually need to supplement that vitamin D
Exactly.
to feel healthy.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so good. I can imagine, those days, every it is just that you don't know what is wrong with you.
Yeah.
It's just the sun you
I,
need.
what I used to say is, I'm not unwell, but I'm also not well. That I'm somewhere there. I can't say I'm sick. I can't, when I go to the
Exactly.
hospital and they ask me, "Are you sick?" I wouldn't know whether I wouldn't say I'm sick, right? But I'm
Yeah.
also not well. I
Mm.
know I'm not well. So, yeah, it's
Don't worry. I
it's
completely
an interesting
understand.
mix. Huh? Yeah, that was a shock for me. I
In
wasn't
fact,
expecting that.
I think it was last week. The sun just disappeared for. We are still. I don't understand the period we have. Whether we are in autumn right now or in summer, I don't know because
We're
the
in
summer is
autumn
like,
right now.
yeah, we are in the border already. So last week was really somewhat gloomy somehow, and I woke up. I don't know when I started, thinking that, oh, we have started this thing again. We'll now start wearing two clothes, three, and, trying to. It just came on my head before I actually caught myself. I'm like, okay, calm down. I think we still have some more days to enjoy the sun, right? And I understand, everything you said about that. It can really, and you won't know. Sometimes it comes like that. And thank God
Mm,
you were able to, fix that. And it can also affect how you even relate, even your studies, if you are not careful, right? Because the whole day you might just want to stay in bed, not come out at
yes.
all,
Yeah.
right? Or not even motivated to work at all or to read. And these things are piling up. So you have to be able to manage that. So thank you so much for pointing that out. Today, let me quickly chip this in the midst of this. What was the role of community, you know, in this phase, especially when you are now in the program?
Okay, so that's one of the things that I would highly recommend Chevening for. The
Mm,
Chevening community is extremely wide because we are many scholars. So in every school, you'll find. I think here in Bristol, we merged with the Commonwealth team because right now Chevening and Commonwealth have similar functions. Like the
mm,
farewell function was the same. We went to the same function, um, and so we are about 30. So in that 30, even if you're the most difficult person, you should make a friend or two.
of course.
So so I think that really helped. So people, of course, created communities amongst themselves. I was in a few, and it's just nice. After class, you can meet up on a Friday, or over the weekends when you want to
Mm,
tour the UK. You go together because to you everything is new. So
nice.
you're experiencing everything for the first time. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I would commend the Chevening. I'm very grateful for the fact that it was Chevening that I got. Because of that, the community helps a lot.
Mm,
um, Whereas I think if I had come here on my own, through other means, I would have struggled a bit more creating that community. So it helps you maneuver, and you end up making more friends because, of course, I'll make friends in class. My friends will make friends in their own classes, and then we meet. When we meet, you find someone has brought two people, three people. You gel well, and you just
exactly.
find that at the end of a certain period, you know quite a number of people.
Mm,
Whereas when you came to the UK, you were a single person. Now you have a whole community. So
yes.
yeah, that's what I would say. And you really need a community here. You need a community.
You need.
Yeah, you really need a community. Yeah, so that's
Thank
what
you
I.
so much for
Mm.
that. Yeah, Shiv, I see your question. We'll come back to it. Abdulatif, I think maybe it's because you are not subscribed or something for the YouTube. You should be able to comment. Um, yeah, you should be able to comment on that. So let's move forward so we can also, and if you have any question, please drop it so that in the Q&A session we can answer all of them together. So I want to ask, how can scholars, in general, also prepare themselves before they even arrive to make the most of the opportunity?
Okay. So the first thing you can do before you even arrive in the UK, just make sure you research your school. Make sure that you subscribe to anything that they'll start sending you emails.
Mm,
And this, my assumption is that you already have the scholarship, so you know where you're going and whatnot. So subscribe to all the emails that they send you. Make sure that you also log into the school email because you'll get an Outlook email, and check all the boards, check the career boards early enough. Make sure that you're familiar with either if there is a teaching assistant job, if there's something that you can do beyond your studies that you can apply for when you're here. What opportunities are there that you can also leap on? Because I mean, it's a huge opportunity, and you want to make the best use of it. So start that while you're back at home.
Mhm.
And then the other thing I would say while you're still at home is spend time with your family. Yeah,
You
you
miss
will get
them.
homesick when you get here. Yeah, when you get here, you will get homesick. I left my small nephew, and right now he's starting school. So yeah, make
Wow.
sure that you spend a lot of time with your family. You'll be away from them for a year. So uh, if you were working and you resign, just spend a lot of time with your family and friends.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then make sure that you keep tabs with the school so that you know what opportunities are there that you can apply for once you're here. I think those are the easiest jobs to apply for while you're still at home. I'm not saying you have to get a job when you're here. I'm not saying you have to do any of those things.
Hmm.
You can come to you curate your own story when you come to the UK. You can decide to travel and just experience the UK and experience Europe, because it's also very cheap traveling from the
Yeah.
UK to the other European countries. Um, for me, I wanted to get some sort of professional experience when I was here, so I started applying early, and yeah, when I got here, I believe I've had a few jobs here and there because of that. So I would recommend that. Sorry,
Mm.
my lights keep going off because
I understand.
they have a motion sensor.
Yeah. Yeah. No problem. Yeah, so I think you actually answered the next question I wanted to ask about, Chevening is not just a funding, which you've mentioned. It is a
Yeah.
platform, right? They are investing in you. And then I wanted to ask, like, how have you leveraged it beyond the classroom? So you've mentioned the fact that, you've applied for some jobs. So that will lead me to a follow-up that Chevening, unlike some other scholarship, doesn't restrain you from working, right?
No, no, it doesn't. The only thing that you need to do is it has to be something aligned with what you are doing. With your career. So you can. I mean, you shouldn't do odd jobs, basically. So that's why I'm saying the school opportunities are the best that you can do, and
Mm-hmm.
then also volunteering opportunities.
Yeah.
My goal was to have experience working
Mm-hmm.
in this part of the world, because I had experience working in Africa before, only in Africa. So for me, whether it was paid or unpaid, I just wanted to get some form of experience, because Shimlin does give you a stipend, so you don't need the
Yeah.
the extra income. And it was important for me to get these opportunities when I was here to
Yeah.
get to experience the culture, the work environment. Um, yeah, and just how things are done on this part of the world, as opposed to being limited to the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I would say that's it. Have I really answered your question?
Yeah, you
Oh,
have.
all
You
right.
have really. And I think that's the mindset I'm also pushing for people to get. As I was telling you before we came live, that the sometimes scholars are tempted to see that scholarship as a peak somewhat. It is not. Is it I would say it is unintentional, because at that point when you got it, you feel a little bit relieved. Maybe you've been applying year in year out, and you just feel like, yeah, finally I got it, right? And sometimes the the momentary feeling that, oh, and even when you now get there, that I have to apply for this registration administration that you have to do, you have to study as well. So those things might clog your mind to even now think like, okay, how do I position myself for even life after this period, right? And I think
Mhm.
that's when it can also get overwhelming, and there's that place where you also explore, but you have to be able, and at the end it's you actually deciding what you want.
Yeah,
Like you said, right now what I want is for me to have this feel of the work environment here, so I can balance it with what I have before. So if you are able to, so that has to be decided before you even come, because you won't have a lot of time. I tell you, you might not have a lot of time to actually now say it is in the middle of that time, of that period, that you are now waking up that, okay, let me do this, and maybe time has gone at that time. So
Yeah.
it has to be from home. And those are some of the important things I always, emphasize, as I coach people in this journey. So what mistake do new scholars make during the program that you would advise against? So maybe, yeah.
I will tie this to what I just said from the previous answer. Is I think curate your own story. So there's really no right or wrong way of going through this Chevening experience. It's your experience. It was your scholarship. You get to decide what you want to, how best you want to utilize it. So there are people who come and they are going back to their previous employers, so they don't need anything. They want to explore. So if
True.
that's your story, explore, travel, because also the traveling experience, you might not get it when you're back at home. So it depends on how you, on what you have in mind, and just think it through and make sure that it makes sense to you as an individual. So that's what I would say. The what I see a lot of people doing is, you come and you want to do what everyone else is doing, or maybe there's a certain expectation that you feel is there. The expectation is just you deciding what you want to do and utilizing it
Exactly.
for
Exactly.
that, for whatever it is you want to do.
Mm.
um, so I would advise anyone who gets the scholarship to just be open minded. You're coming to a new country, a new culture, everything is new. Be open minded and try and incorporate the culture of this new area to the plans that you have for yourself, and any opportunities that come with that. So whether the opportunity would be, dining in different places, whether the opportunity
Mm.
would be meeting a partner, if you want to meet a partner
Yeah.
here, whether it's traveling, because it's so easy to travel to Europe and so many other countries if you have a British residency
Mm-hmm.
as well. You might not be required to have as much paperwork as if you are back at home. So
Yes.
utilize those the best way you can, actually.
Mm.
I feel a bit sad that I didn't get to travel much during my course, but it was very intense, and I chose to work. I'll travel to a few countries after, but that's the joy of it. You get to decide, you get to choose your timelines, and tuning allows you to stay up until the end of your, at least for us, I don't know whether it will change with the next cohort, but up until the end of your visa. So even after school, you can still stay and do other things. So you get to decide honestly, and just wing it and have your
Okay.
own story that's unique to you.
Interesting. So you are not mandated to go back home immediately, right?
No, you're not.
Ah, wow, interesting. I thought maybe it's Commonwealth that has that clause that you
I
have.
think they've also changed. They changed this
Oh,
year.
they've changed.
Yeah, so they are also staying up until the end of their visa.
Interesting. That's so good. So I know that you've answered this in passing, but I don't mind. When you reiterate something, it
Hmm.
sticks, right? And I would just want to ask again, what mindset now in the realm of mindset right now should applicants carry? Not just to win Chevening. So before to win, and then to also thrive during and after. So in the realm of the mindset, what do you think? They can actually also take cognizance of.
Yeah. Okay. I'll um I'll iterate something that one of my former CEOs used to say. He used to have this phrase where he'd say that life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forward.
My
So
God,
just keep
I'm going
going.
to write
Just
this.
keep going. Everything makes sense eventually. And this is life. This is how it is. If you get a rejection, it doesn't define you. It doesn't, it's just a rejection. It's part of your story. So one day, like me, you'll say, oh, I got 5 rejections, and it won't feel as heavy, because I remember when I got, there's a time that I put a lot of effort, and I saw one of the questions asking whether this was my first time getting to the interview. No, it wasn't.
Yes. Yeah.
So I had gone to the interview before, so I've been through all the stages of grief with Chivney. We have a complicated relationship, but I remember, the time that I got to the interview, and I think that time I was very confident about getting it. When I didn't get it, it put me down. I was very low for a while. Um, And now looking back, I'm saying it as a story. It's not a big deal, you know. It just happened. It's part of my story. So that's what I would say. Don't waste a lot of time dwelling on things, whether you get it or whether you don't. I mean, I got it, and now I have to still do other interviews. I still have, you know, when I came here, I applied for opportunities. I still had to do interviews for those. So it's just life, you know. It's an event in your life that you will talk about as an event in the future,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how you need to look at it. So just maximize it and move on, keep moving. This year, in the event that you apply and you don't get the scholarship, well and good, it's fine. You have another year to refine your application, to do other things, to make friends, to, you know, this is just life. That's just how life is, you know. There's really no it stops when it actually stops for you.
Mm,
You know,
mm,
when you stop breathing and you're no longer here. Otherwise, everything is just an event, it comes and goes.
yeah.
So that's what I would say. That's the mindset that I carry with me right now. I remember when I got tuning, I was very excited. And right now I'm done. There's a new cohort coming. And I need to apply for other opportunities and I need to do other interviews. And that's how
Mm,
life is. It just
yes.
keeps going.
Yeah. Please, that quote you said in the beginning, please help me repeat it. I need to jot it down.
Oh, life can only be understood backwards, but it
Mm-hmm.
must be lived forward. So you have to keep moving in uncertainty. Eventually, it makes sense, but as you're moving forward, some things don't make sense. So you just move forward. Yeah.
So you keep moving in uncertainty. I love that. And I think it summarizes one of my beliefs as well that always repeat here, that clarity is not a destination, it is a journey.
Yeah.
So you won't really understand everything as it comes right now. But once you are moving, even as you are taking that step, light appears more and more, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
when you look back, you can put all of that, you can sum
Yeah.
everything together in the
Exactly.
story.
Yes. Yes.
I love that. Oh my God, I really love it. And I think I will adopt that. And before we come, I think we have a couple of questions here, but before we go into it, if you have one piece of advice to someone doubting whether to apply for Chevening, what would you tell them?
um I don't know. I would ask, you know, evaluate why you doubt it. Maybe it's not the, you know, I'm not, you know, I'm not the die on the cross kind of a person. The reason why I applied for Chevening so many times is because I genuinely believed I would get it, whether
Hmm.
I would get it on my 10th attempt or my fifth attempt or fourth attempt. I knew I
Wow.
would get it. I knew I was, when I read it and they say they're looking for this and this, that is me. They're describing me. So I just need to show them that it's me that they're describing. So if anyone is still contemplating, then maybe take your time contemplating about it.
Hmm.
And there are other scholarships to look at as well. I would advocate for Chevening because I've experienced it and I have nothing negative to say about it.
Wow.
Um, and please also note that the many more years pass, the
Hmm.
harder it gets because the more popular it gets, the more people talk about it. So the person who applied 10 years ago had an easier time than I did. Someone who will
Yes.
apply 10 years from now will have a harder time than
Competition,
yeah,
everything.
yeah, it's just way more competitive. And you know, the opportunities don't increase significantly. The numbers that they take every year are the same, but the numbers of the number of people who apply for it are more. They keep increasing every year, and in
Mhm.
some instances, they even double. So when once you make up your mind, apply for it as soon as possible. And you might not get it. So just the fact that you've applied for it and you know what is required makes it easier for you to get it the next time because at least you get the flow of it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So once you
Mhm.
make up your mind, just start applying for it.
Awesome, awesome. So before I ask my last question, let me just read some of these comment that we have. Abdulatif, shout out to you. Thank you for this insightful session. And then Shiv Mera said, "Thank you so much, Lilian and Tino. I have learned so much already. I just wanted to ask also, aside the essay,
Mhm.
is there any other thing during the application process I should take note of? Plus, when you got the award, was it also the first time you reached the interview stage? I think you answered that in passing. But then the other part, apart from the essay,
Mm-hmm.
what other part of the process that it needs to pay attention to?
What other part of apart from the essay?
Yes.
Okay, apart from the essay, okay. This I would say just generally make sure that your social media is clean because they do a background check on you. They definitely do a background check. So these are things that I think it's just a general etiquette. If you're applying for anything, you need to make sure that your social media is clean. Don't start saying, crazy things online or insulting people, insulting governments. Um, so I mean, those are some of the things that I would say. Make sure that you post your achievements online. Make sure you're very vocal. They
Mhm.
actually do a background check, and they do check your social media, and they do because the second question of tuning is always networking. It's a networking question. So they want to know how vocal you are online, how you network, and I mean, LinkedIn is a good place to show that you do this, that you go
Exactly.
for events, that you meet people, and the impact that you have. So make sure you post, you look professional, and you actually embody what they're looking for on your social platforms. And I don't know if you have any rogue profiles. Make sure that try and make them private if you don't want to change the whole thing because they will search your name. So go just do that. Search your own name and see what pops up
Yeah.
and anything that is not appealing, try and get rid of it or
Yes.
make it private.
Yeah.
Then the other thing I would say is before the award, also try and see how you can improve yourself. I remember the year before, last year, but one, I after I got my the rejection that I got that time, I did so many things that year, which now I included
Yeah.
in the essay that eventually ended up getting. So try and involve yourself in volunteering activities, all the things that you know that they are passionate about or that they look for in candidates. Try and do those so that you can mention them. So for me, I had a speaking event that was someone just approached me and asked me, and I went. I talked about it online as well. I posted it. I mentioned it in the essay. There was evidence on my social media about it. So try and put yourself out there, and this is something you can do a year before the essay. So
Yes.
that's why I kept saying it's not just I don't know whether it's 2 or 3 months window period of application. It should be an entire year worth of application because as you're applying, you are keeping that in mind.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's what I would say. But because I have more experience getting rejections in this context, I would say, um, yeah, also just be open minded. Huh? Be open minded. Someone on the comment said, you just need 1 yes. You just need 1 yes. That's exactly it. Just one. So, all these other times that you get a no, it's fine. You just need that 1 yes. So, you'll just keep applying. So, keep encouraging yourself with,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Wow.
maybe I can also mention there's a higher chance of you getting a rejection than getting a yes. So when you get that rejection, yeah, just don't let it make you feel bad. It doesn't define you. It
Exactly.
doesn't change much about you. You don't need that validation really. You need the opportunity because it opens doors for you,
Mm-hmm.
but that's it. It's an opportunity. It's not a validation. You are who you are,
Yeah.
regardless of whether you have this opportunity or that opportunity. So I'm just encouraging all the people that even that I've read essays for, and for one reason or another they didn't get the scholarship. It's fine. It's normal. It happens. Yeah.
And you see me smiling from here to here. It's actually because you are eating the nail on the head. And this is what I share. As you said, all of us have that share of rejection. I remember applying to back 2 years. Mine was 2 years, anyways, for scholarship, and I would get rejection.
Mm.
Right. Even this year, I got a rejection before these two interview that I got, right? And last year that I has applied, so this is the second time I'm applying to the same scholarship that I got interview right now. And last year I remember, and I'm speaking to the point where you reached that you don't go the same way you left last year. so you don't present the same, you get better. Right. And then I went on to do other things, because one of the things I preach, because actually I have a 6 month coaching experience where I do coach international aspiring student, right? And one
Mm-hmm.
of the things, one of the major, in fact, this week what we are doing is what you talked about on LinkedIn, positioning. And that's why it's not within the window that you start saying you are chasing opportunity. So my own mindset is that you don't chase opportunity, you position for them, that you become that same person they are looking for, right?
Yes.
And that's one of the things you've said. So what are you posting? What is showing up on no, right now, US government, before they give you any visa or anything, they search you on social, not the normal search of saying that, okay, let's see whether this person actually is telling us what she said she's into. Maybe in your LinkedIn, what did you write? Oh, you are into climate sustainability, agricultural or development, just to see. But now to vet all your social media accounts,
Mm.
right? So it also shows how you bring yourself, not you calling people out and just mentioning and being abusive and not.
Mm.
Again, another thing is, how are you able to present yourself even when you disagree with things, but you are not
Mm.
as a person, right? So these are leadership skills. These are intercultural communication as well. What is necessarily bad in my culture might be super super bad in another person's culture, and all of us are coming to meet in an international platform. How do you react in that? So they
Mm.
look at all these things, all these cues, and this is something I'm reinforcing every now and then with everybody in our inner circle and community. So thank you so much, for mentioning this. And if you are here, sincerely, let me do a shout out to her. She's giving us gems masterclass that you cannot really found on a Google search, sincerely. And that's just the truth about it. So yeah, thank you so much for that. And Abdulatif is asking, my question is, are we applying directly to the school or to the scholarship? Then secondly, I do read that the scholarship requires 2 years of working experience. Let me spotlight it so you can also read.
Yeah.
um 2 years of working experience. How about a fresh graduate with no working experience but with leadership experience and volunteering? Can this fill the working experience gap? Okay.
Okay, so I'll answer the first part of the question. Yes, you apply to both. So you apply to the scholarship and you'll apply to schools. It's not one school, but three schools, three different courses.
Mm,
They also give you the option of applying to three courses in one school, but I don't know how that works because the thing is you need to have a theme that you're going with. So if your theme is in sustainability, climate change, or if it's in energy, if it's in agriculture or education, that's your theme. So then that would mean that you're applying to three courses in the same school.
yeah.
It's a bit tricky. So also just to spread risk, apply to three universities and three similar courses in three universities, and
Mm,
then apply for Chevening as well. So you'll start with however you start, it doesn't matter. But by the time you do the interview, you should have applied to all the schools because you'll have to talk about them, and they'll give you a time to tell them the order in which you want them to be considered. So option that your the option that you want the most as
yeah.
option A, B, and C. So by that time, you should at least have some unconditional offer somewhere.
Yeah.
Because if you get the scholarship and you don't get accepted or admitted to any school, you don't get the scholarship. It's withdrawn. So you have to make sure that you get accepted. You get at least one unconditional offer at the same time as you're applying for the scholarship. And then the other part of the question was lead experience. I don't know how it is this time because I haven't gotten time to read through the requirements. But from my year and the previous years that I remember, it was you need 2 years of experience, but it doesn't have to be professional experience. So whether you have experience in volunteering or um, any other way, whether it was in an internship or something like that, you could include that. I don't know whether that has changed. So you can just go um, to the website and confirm. And by the time you're applying for the scholarship, you should know the requirements pretty well, because that you need to really make sure that your application is very rich. So the requirement should be the list of your concern by the time you're making the application.
Yeah.
Yeah, so make sure that you review the website. Just click on all the links you can and read through them to understand
Yeah.
as much as you can about it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, for that. And thank you so much. Shout out to, this is my mom. She's joining. I don't know. Thank you, ma. And then no, Felix is asking that. That's great. I'm in 300 level now. How can I start working on the scholarship? So
Uh,
just
I'm
mentioning.
not quite sure what that means. Being in 300 level now, what does that mean?
Yeah, he is saying that he's in the university, so he has like 1 year
Okay,
left in a 400 level course, for instance.
okay. Sorry about that. I don't think I'm familiar with the term, but yes, you must have graduated, and you need to make sure that you have some experience that amounts to 2 years.
Mm,
So if you have those, yes, you can. You will need to upload your undergraduate degree,
yeah.
so you can familiarize yourself with the scholarship if that is not currently ready, and then apply once it is. And then you can also use this time to volunteer, to get a job, a part-time job or something. It doesn't have to be a full-time job. It just has to be something that you can note down, you can give numbers
Mm,
on, and where you actually hold those positions, where you at least manage a team or manage a project, and you can quantify it. You can quantify it with regards to maybe funds that were used, people that were affected. The impact has to be something that is tangible and can be
yeah.
proven. Yeah, so as long as you have that, yes, then you can proceed and apply.
Awesome. So this is how 1 hour flies. When you're having impactful conversation, time just, I would say it runs away, but it ticks so fast. And thank you so much. It's been an impactful one. So I think we don't have any question again. My last question for you would just be, for you, what's should we expect from Lilian Sudi, and then is it research work, global impact, in what's area should we be looking out for you? And also just share where people can also um, check you and meet you on social media as well. So thank you so much.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rosalind. So I'll start first of all by thanking you so much for inviting me here. You're a fantastic host. I think this is a good platform that you've started to help a lot of people. I wish I had access to this when I was applying,
Mm,
but those many years ago. But last year I really got help. I got help from Sarah, and I'm very grateful to her. So that helped.
mm,
But I feel like everyone who's tuned in has gotten great value because of your initiative. So thank you so much.
mm,
And I'm very pleased and flattered that you reached out to me and that I'm actually here sharing my story. So thank you so much.
mm,
With regards to my social media, I mainly communicate through LinkedIn. And
mm,
on LinkedIn, it's just my name, Lilian Sudi, Lilian
yeah,
with a single L, Sudi is Sudi. Yeah, I'm very consistent on LinkedIn, basically, with most of the things that I do. What I'm planning to do in the future is, my focus has and will always be in Africa development, and at the moment I'm looking into. I pivoted from water and energy into climate change, because we are seeing it more and more, just how sporadic the climate is, and the weather is constantly changing, and it's very
yeah,
unpredictable now. So that is what I want to see, how climate change affects water and energy provision in Africa, specifically my country, Kenya. The equator passes right through it.
yeah,
So it is bound to get extremely dry in some instances and flood in some instances, because
mm,
we also don't have the best infrastructure.
yeah,
So yeah, I want to get into projects that deal with that. I have a forum that I'm attending in Italy. I was telling you about it, Rosaline, in Catania, where we will be discussing um, we're working on a policy paper primarily for Europe and the Mediterranean area, but I want to see what I can borrow and take back home,
So,
because home is home, right?
home is home.
It's home.
Wow, this is so good. It's been, for me, I've learned a lot as well. And it also reinforces a lot of my beliefs and conviction that we can actually do great things, even starting from small places. And great things can occur as well from small places. And another thing I've learned, I've gained from you, life has to be, you understand lives backward, but you have to keep moving, living it forward, and then you'll be able to um, keep moving during uncertainty, and at the end of the day
Mhm.
everything will make sense at the end. I'm using Nigerian slogan or right now, but everything will make sense at the way
Yes, yes.
so thank you so much for coming here. It's been a powerful conversation, and I think a lot of people that tune in actually got value for their time. And yeah, Abdulatif, she already stated her LinkedIn. It is just her name. You will meet her. Don't worry. So yes, you can also. We have a lot of resources for the on the community, and if you are here in the audience, like share with people that are looking to, because you hear what she said. These are resources to also help you, motivate you, and just keep you eyes on the goal, and what are some of the important things to actually focus on in this period. So yes, we also have in my, if you check my page, you will see some other resources that you can also maximize, some other videos as well. So to everyone listening, I hope you are living with clarity, courage, practical steps for your Chevening journey. The deadline is October 7th. Please just also look at it and see where you are, what you can do between now and then. And remember, this scholarship is about leadership and impact, and your story is powerful enough, like she said. So I'll package it very well. Let your voice speak. Like I always say, SOP is about purpose, statement of purpose. Let your purpose speak. Personal statement, let it be personal, really. And it is a motivation letter, let it really motivate them about you and your vision. So before we go, don't forget to subscribe again, like, share with people this episode with someone applying, share with them, and you might just be the reason they don't give up. Like she said, this person that she connected with last week, she's already part of her story, and that's why she was sharing her story. Um she was mentioning them. So you to be a part of someone's story is also an impact that you can have on one life. And you can see it's because that person helped her in a way she can help others. Because this story is not on, it will be on this channel for a long time. Even people next take my seat. That's impact, you
Yeah.
know, that you are making on another life. So you to be that, right? And until next time, this has been Beyond Borders, right? Where we share real stories to help you across your next border, and even where you are right now, keep making impact that can be felt even beyond border. So see you in the next